Anxiety. It's the silent force that steals your peace, disrupts your sleep, and makes even the simplest moments feel overwhelming. But what if the answer isn't a pill? What if it's a microbe? Meet Lactobacillus reuteri, a powerful probiotic strain scientifically shown to enhance mood, reduce stress, and even boost the hormone of connection, oxytocin. Hi, I'm Brian. I've suffered from anxiety for a very long time. I learned for many years to just cram those uncomfortable feelings inside and force my way through life, always having that uneasy feeling in my own skin. But I thought that's just the way it was. Well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. Since discovering this L. reuteri yogurt from Dr. Davis's groundbreaking book, Supergut, has changed my life. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make your own batch of high-potency L. reuteri yogurt so you can take control of your mind and your microbiome. So let's get started. This comes from the book Supergut, written by Dr. Davis. He has done extensive research on the benefits of Lactobacillus reuteri and is the one that came up with this method of fermenting the supplements to get a super powerful dosage of the Lactobacillus reuteri strain to heal our gut and get all the benefits like reducing depression and anxiety and all sorts of skin conditions. And so essentially what they found is we used to have this in our GI tract. It actually colonizes the small intestine, which is what's somewhat unique compared to a lot of probiotics, but we get a lot of benefits from that. It helps with the production of oxytocin. So I'm going to show you how to get started here. Now this is our first batch, so we have a couple ingredients we need. We have these L. reuteri tablets, which there are also some, you can also find powder form, or there's some capsules, so you can just open the capsules. Whatever type you have is fine. This is what Dr. Davis uses in his recipe in the book, so that's what we're going to use here. We've got some inulin powder. This is just prebiotic fiber to get the fermentation process started. And then, of course, we're going to need our organic half and half. Now, it doesn't matter what brand. Half and half, we need 1 quart, so I won't need all of this. I've got a mixing bowl with a 1 quart measurement that I can reference. We're going to need a whisk, a tablespoon measure for measuring our inulin powder, and a rolling pin and Ziploc bag. This is for crushing up the tablets into a powder to get our fermentation started. So I'm going to set this book aside so we don't get it dirty. And then of course you need a fermenter that you can set the temperature. Now L. reuteri, unlike most of your typical yogurts, actually grows at a lower temperature. So we're going to want to ferment at 99 degrees rather than other yogurts that are usually 108 to even up to like 112 maybe, and potentially higher. It just depends on what strain of bacteria you're using to do your fermentation. So with L. reuteri, we want 99, 100 degrees. I run it at 99. And the other difference is that we want to ferment for 36 hours, where typical yogurt is only fermented for 4 to 6. So this machine is great for that. You can also use, I think there's some Instapot, like crock pots that have a yogurt setting that people use. Many devices out there. I really like this one because I can set the temperature, set the time, and forget about it. It's super easy. So first up, I'm going to crush these tablets here. We need 10 of these BioGaia gastrus tablets. They have the 2 strains of Lactobacillus reuteri that Dr. Davis studied, and so I want to use the same thing, make sure we get the same results. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, 10 tablets. Just going to put these in the Ziploc bag here. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I think I double checked. And 10. Okay, 10 tablets in the bag. Close that back up. Okay. And seal that shut. And all I'm going to do is gently, well, maybe not so gently. Break up, and then we can want a nice fine powder that we can mix in. We want a nice fine powder that we can mix in with our half and half and our inulin. Make a little slurry, and then we'll mix the rest of our half and half in and get the fermentation started. So there. Rolling pin does a nice job making sure you don't have any big chunks left. There we go. Now we're getting there. Alrighty. Looks like I poked a little hole in the bag, but as you can see, nice fine powder here. So I'm just going to pour this right into our bowl. Make sure we get all of that out of our bag here. Now, next thing I'm going to do, set this out of our way, is get our inulin powder. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of the inulin powder. And this is just to feed the bacteria to really get that fermentation process kicked off and running, so we get a nice good fermentation of our cream. Now I'm just going to pour a small amount of half and half, as you can see, and mix this up. You should get a nice thick, I mean, we're not really concerned with it being thick per se, but the reason to do just a little bit at first is to ensure that we get it mixed up and dissolved into the half and half real well, because I have made the mistake before where I crushed up the tablets and I mixed them in a container and it was too small to hold the entire quart of half and half, so I just sort of scooped it over to the other side, and the side that I had mixed originally fermented great. The side that I had scooped out, apparently I didn't get enough mixed up. What I scooped off the top did not ferment as well. It came out kind of loose and wasn't that great. So I now make sure I mix in a bowl that gives me room to make sure everything dissolves nicely. So you can see it's starting to, but you can kind of see it on the whisk still sticking to the ends, and you can feel it almost like sugar stuck to the bottom of the bowl. So I'm going to make sure we get that all dissolved into our little half and half of cream slurry. Once it's smooth, you don't feel anything sticking to the bottom of the bowl anymore. Then we'll go ahead and mix in the rest of our half and half. So I need to keep an eye on, since I'm working out of a half gallon, I only want to go up to this 1 quart mark, which hopefully you can see on the bowl here. I have a mark inside that I'm going to be looking at as I fill up our half and half here. So we've got that. Put this back in the refrigerator. And go ahead and give that a good stir. Make sure we get that slurry well mixed into the rest of our half and half here. Okay. And then I'm going to get our bowls for the fermenter here. Set this. Open this up. Now I already have some water in here, and I'll show you what we do with the water in a minute. Basically, the fermenter is just a slow cooker water bath, and the purpose of the water is that you fill it up above the level of the yogurt that you're making or whatever you're fermenting, so that it can hold that at a nice even temperature, so you get a good even fermentation. Keep that bacteria just at the temperature that it likes to grow at. Okay, so I've got a couple of fermentation bowls and my lids. Now these bowls here came with this fermenter. They fit. It's a set. You can also order it so that you get 8 small dishes if you want to do different styles at the same time, provided they ferment at the same temperature anyway. So, alright, so we've got this all mixed up. Now we're just going to pour this and try and get them relatively even amounts in both bowls. Hopefully. Alright, looks pretty good. And then, even though it's pretty liquidy, I like to just scrape the bowl down just to make sure we get all our good microbes down into our fermentation here. Alright, now just simply place our lids on. I like to burp the air out of there. Get a nice good seal on them. Okay, and all we're going to do is set them into our fermenter now. Okay. And it's not quite up above the yogurt, so I'm going to add just enough that the level of water is above, or at least equal to, I like to be just slightly above the level of the cream in the bowl. We're going to start, going to go down to 99 degrees, start. So that's it. You just let this do its thing. At the end of the 36 hours, it'll shut itself off. Now you want to make sure that, keep track of time so that when this finishes at the end of that 36 hours, you want to pull these out and put them into the refrigerator to chill them and let the yogurt really set up good. I like to leave it at least 4 to 6 hours, but ideally overnight before digging into it. As you start eating it, pour off and save the whey that separates, so you have a clear liquid that separates on a yogurt. And so you have the curds is your cream, the whey is that liquid, and it's full of the microbes you need. You can use that instead of the tablets to start your next batch,